With the truth, the facts, we lay you down flat. With a melanated empire, never hold back. Put the facts.
We're gonna be having a build on understanding serpent power. Now I chose that particular topic, family, because I'm sure the family even coming across, artifacts and even hieroglyphs, and even just the plain old creation stories of the Nile Valley creation stories, spiritual systems, that the serpent is always emphasized upon. Even we have in the great Ogdoad, Janani. Yeah, even in the Ogdoad family, remember 4 of them had the heads of frogs and 4 of them had the heads of serpents. So why all this, emphasis on the serpent or on the snake? I myself live here in St. Lucia. We have about 5 species of snakes down here. When I'm going up north on my way to work and I pass through Dennery, sometimes you was getting snakes in the road. Back in the day, you used to get enough snakes in the road. Yes, princess? Whoa. You okay? Yeah. So back in the day, you used to see a lot more snakes, family. You understand? But it's like nowadays, already developments, people clearing off land to build houses and live closer, so chasing the snakes away. But right now they're coming back. What is that? Whoa. You made a smoothie? You added some ingredients in there? Okay. It looks interesting.
Interesting?
Yeah.
Really interesting.
You going to show mommy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, family. So it's like they're coming back. You understand? Now, the ancestors saw something in those serpents, because you can't tell me, as I said again, in one of the most ancient spiritual systems being the Nile Valley culture, ancient Kemet, you get in the snake symbology there. Even in the Christian narrative, we still get a snake, although a serpent, in the Garden of Eden, even from the beginning of creation. When we look at the Hindus and the Indians, even studying of yoga, when they speak about the kundalini energy, is usually also depicted as a serpent family. So what is this serpent power about? Now, if you check out the vibe properly, one set of cultures portray the serpent as something negative, like we have in the Christian narrative, and other cultures actually portray the understanding of the serpent as something positive, family, and something one can actually benefit from if you gather a particular understanding towards it. You see what I'm saying? So let's go into this. In ancient times, right, the serpent, if the family has been keeping up with my videos, there is a video we did recently, understanding Bastet, okay, which is the video of the cat deity, and we mentioned how serpents, okay, were actually classified even with vermin, because them, along with the rats, used to come and raid the crops, and the crops, were very important because that area didn't really have water, family. It's just the Nile, and the inundation of the Nile was once a year. You understand? So crops are very vital and important to the people, and you have rodents and mice, rats, and even snakes come in and massacre the crops. And then we explain how the cat, the the house cat, the house cat family, was kind of there like a protection or a protector to the crops. And the understanders and the ancestors understood that and saw that, and again applied in different. Go check out the video, man. Shit, we ain't talking about that. Anyway, so we can see from even ancient times, the serpent has been sort of like a bother. You understand? But at the same time, the Nesubitis, the kings, right, and the queens, the pharaohs, if you want to call them that, usually had the Uraeus serpent on their head. So it's two understandings, because again, according to the culture, Apep, which is the depiction of a snake, the zoomorphic representation of a snake. Asphet is actually the embodiment of Isfet, and Isfet is chaos. So in that rendition, a snake was shown within a negative aspect or a sort of evil aspect, right? And again, it should be understood a snake as an animal has the power to inflict pain and death, family. Because back in the day when a snake bites you, they didn't really have no anti-venom and thing them time there. He suck it out or what have you, and if not that, he's die. You see what I'm saying? So the understanding was a serpent has the ability to inflict pain and death upon you. So in that regard, it was understood as being sort of like evil. But then let us not forget one of the Hermetic principles being the universal law, the principle basically of polarity. And again, way back in the time, we also did a video, polarity versus duality. You need to check that out as well. So it's like, while we saw it as evil, it was also, there is also good to balance it out, because while Isfet is chaos and Apep is the embodiment of Isfet, you will still have Ma'at, which is the balance, bringing the right and the justice and the order out of the chaos. You see what I'm saying? This is why Bastet actually even played that Ma'at Sekhmet kind of principle. That's why the deities are not people, family, because while they are different understandings and manifestations of different energies, they are all linked. It's all one, because it's the all in the all. It's just one mind, you know. You see what I'm saying? The serpent would be understood as embodying evil as well, but then it was still used to depict part of the crown of the pharaohs. Now you have some understandings that will say the crown and basically the placement of the serpent and the vulture, Wajet and Nefbet, is actually on the third eye. You know, nobody can bring that and come and dispute that. Again, they will say pseudo information. We're not on that here, we're on some deeper levels here. You see what I'm saying? Because, family, again, remember we mentioned in the Hindu culture, when we're dealing with the kundalini energy, and the energy that rests at the base of your spine, which needs to travel up your 7 psycho-spiritual energetic centers along your spine, going up to the crown chakra, family, the energy is usually depicted as a serpent. Now enough people will talk about the kundalini, but to some regard, it has to be the kundalini and the kunda buffer. While some people will say the individual who coined that term did it as a joke, is a understanding. Because if one has to rise up to go to the higher self, you must also have the lower self. You see, that's why it's usually 2 serpents. Again, when we check the medical sign out, the caduceus, is 2 serpents going up that pole. You see what I'm saying? And that particular symbol was still copied from Tehuti, or Thoth, as you would know him as, an ancient Kemetic deity holding up, you know, the poles with the 2 serpents. It even said in Moses, there's some rendition of Moses where some serpents had bites the children of Israel, and God told Moses he has to build a brazen serpent and hold it up in the sky for the people to watch it, and then they shall be healed. You see what I'm saying? But all of that, I'll still tell you, all of that is still symbolic, because that is symbolic of the sun. Because the sun, every 11.5 years, travels through a cycle called the 11-year sunspot cycle. The ancestors depicted that cycle looking as a serpent. Even graphs, scientific and seismic graphs right now in regards to activity on the sun's surface, you can see the depiction is similar to that, where if you had to give an earlier rendition and using zoomorphic representations to bring your point across, you can use that and do a serpent for that, family. Now within the creation story, and I taking you left, right and center, but just ride with me. We're just going through and we just, yeah, pray, hope the family is safe there still. In the ancient stories, family, it is said that in the Nu, some renditions will say in the Nu, Atum was in the Nu at the beginning, okay, and then he premeditated and he manifested Shu and Tefnut. Some renditions actually say in the Nu, in the beginning, in the waters, right, was Apep, okay, because it's like if you just have the waters and everything just there, nothing is created, some people understand it as chaos. So if Apep is the embodiment of Isfet, and Isfet is an understanding of chaos, no order, we can see how that would come into play. And out of Apep, right, birthed Atum. That is the understanding it gives. So we can already see the early rendition of the serpent family. But not in an evil to say, oh, it's an evil vibe. And it's an understanding. Remember, we are ascending and we're bringing up that higher consciousness. We're not on that. Within the understanding of that serpent power, right? When Atum now gave birth to Shu and Tefnut, they actually went to explore in the known and they got themselves lost. Atum had to take his eye and send his eye out, send his eye out in the mythos, right? To go and look for Shu and Tefnut, and when found them to light the way back home. That eye is the same Wajet. You with me, family? That same Wajet symbol, which is the eye of Horus, many know it as. Because he sent his eye, he obviously had to make another eye, because they're like, yeah, you might say it's two eyes, because it's two eyes someone have, but when you're watching even a animated version of the story, that's what it appears as. So he sent out one eye, and through he sent it out, he didn't have no eye to see, so then he made another eye. Because within that time, remember, not really physical yet, so we're not even talking about the two physical eyes, we're talking about the spiritual eye. So through he sent that eye out to look for the two he just cough and spat out, Shu and Tefnut. He couldn't see, so he basically had to create another eye. So when he created the other eye, he did chilling and, embracing the energies thereof. The eye, Wajet, actually led them back. And when Wajet led Shu and Tefnut back, he'd see that there was an eye in its place. Like an eye didn't take its position already. And Wajet actually turned to a serpent. Turned to a serpent trying to take out the eye. You check? And then Atum now basically had to make a humble and take the same serpent and then pull it around his head. You see what I'm saying? So one understanding is like the serpent is pure chaos, chaos and even difficulties, because our daily difficulties, family, can still be considered as Apep, because they're like our struggle, like things chaotic, things not in order. You see, that's why these principles and spiritual systems can be applied to our daily lives today. I don't think we just studying to feel like, oh, it's just history and we just, nah. They can be applied today, family. You see? So the first Apep is in regards to chaos, things not really in order. The second Apep is in terms of even victory, you can say, because sent out as the eye and come back and basically turn into the serpent to try to defend and take your place, and being placed on the third eye still, along with Nefbet, which is the vulture symbol, and we'll go into that at another time. And remember that I said the 11-year sunspot cycle of the sun is depicted as a snake as well. Remember, we're talking about the sun, because we're talking about nature is a netter, so we're talking about nature in that regard. So the serpent, while it has that understanding of negativity, if you may, we're dealing with the polarity, so there is always the positive side, family. In the Hindu culture, the serpent, the energy, as we said, at the base of the spine, that energy at the base of the spine is usually depicted as a serpent which has to climb up the 7 centers to go up. So it's all a serpent power. The serpent is something that is deadly and can be deadly, but they're like an energy that you need to team and understand, because to move through each of those psycho-spiritual energetic centers, family, takes a lot of discipline and a lot of manhood and sisterhood, as we discussed in our previous video. So I'm saying,